this episode of Trying Not to Sink, we traveled to Maryland to check out a Carver 390 with my cousins. Join us. My name is Ed. I'm an ex-musician, turned politician, turned accountant, who now imagines himself a sea captain. This is Lynn. She's an ex-model, retired photographer, and the love of my life. 3 years ago we bought a boat. No experience and completely clueless. Since then, we have traveled over 10,000 miles along the Atlantic coast and the Bahamas. Join us as we continue the adventure, exploring exciting places, meeting new people, and having the time of our lives while trying not to sink. So you're probably wondering why we're going to check out a Carver aft cabin right after we sold our Carver aft cabin. Well, it's first of all because my cousin and I are both Polacks. That's one reason. And the other is he didn't know I was selling it. And he just called me randomly about a week after we sold it and said he was looking for a boat just like mine and wondering if I knew of one for sale. And well, here we are. We're going to Maryland and we're going to go check out a Carver 390.
Hey! Good day to see a boat.
So we're here with Kristan and Gary, and there's the 390 we're going to look at. They did. I paint this with black ablado and have blue permanent paint underneath so you can see when you need to paint again.
Oh, okay.
So here I'd be like, oh, let's touch this up, we're good here.
Okay.
You know, and then next year when I pull it out or 2 years later, I can say, okay, a couple of spots, get the roller, and then, you know, so you can kind of tell what's going on.
And what's those things underneath?
Where? Right.
It looks like a vent kind of thing.
Yeah, you have intakes here.
I think I'm recording.
I'm not
Said I
sure
think I'm
exactly which
recording.
one's for which, but they're working. The engine's going to suck water out of the ocean, and that's probably this here. You accidentally forget to open that up, and you try to empty your tank. It's right out here into your neighbor's boat. I know this because I've done it. You know? And then you quickly
By accident.
before anyone notices. Like, what's that smell?
I don't know.
Like, literally, you just emptied your tank onto the.
Is that piece of corn in the water?
I think it's this.
What's that?
I think you're talking about
do you think
this.
it's there?
Mhm.
The vent? It could be. Yeah, because it is up above the water line. Right? Yeah, that's it. You're right. Mine doesn't have a plate on it. It looks like that, but it's up higher.
And what's this?
That's just
Engine.
It let air into your engine room.
Okay. It's like even these bumpers, like I'm not too concerned about it because like
I don't think
like
they need to be replaced.
well, there's one that's coming off of the front.
Yeah, you might be able to keep that up and push let it unstretch it. You know,
But those are little things like I'm gonna get rubs against it, you know, like
yeah.
your first car kind of thing.
Mine doesn't even have rubber. I have metal.
Okay.
And they kind of get dinged and dented. Rubber's probably better, you know. I mean,
Yeah, I would think so.
it's actually there's metal on the rubber. I think is what we have, something like that. You have to subscribe to it so you can get TV wherever. And I don't watch that much TV to care. And now these days you got your laptop. As long as you have an internet connection, you can watch anything anyway.
See, I'm surprised they don't have internet connection satellite yet.
I know, right?
You know what I mean? Like,
You can. I mean, it depends. Like when we go to, I don't know if it's satellite, but when we go to the Bahamas, we do. We buy a little box, and it's good. It costs like $50 a month while you're in the Bahamas. It'll get you internet everywhere.
That was really good.
right? Like
Yeah.
like
But it's just for the islands, and then it won't work in the United States, but it'll work in the Bahamas.
You guys have just the thin stuff?
Yeah, well, we had like 30 mil isinglass, and you could roll it. But this stuff's This is more expensive. I don't know what mill this is, but it's you don't roll this. You just lift it up and snap it.
Fine. I have customers back at the marina.
Yeah.
You know, we can walk through it. I know the boat because I had one, so I can tell them everything about it.
If you're interested in a boat, we can write the contract up. I'm 2 miles south of here. Just give me a call. And
Perfect. Yeah, I'll call you either way when we get out of here.
It's old, but it's not ancient. You know, it's you know, that's like it's not going to be touchscreen or anything.
What is it like the?
This is your chart plotter.
Ah.
This is a Loran. They don't use Loran. The Loran was pre-GPS.
Okay.
We
They
threw
used
ours
to
out.
actually triangulate you with antennas on land. You know, but now everyone's GPS. But back in '94, that was like I think it was Clinton who authorized everyone GPS to be able to go to the public. So anyway, so that
from military to
Yep, exactly. So, but yeah, this is probably okay. I mean, we use tablets. It doesn't need to be okay, you know. I mean, but what's good about it is that it works your radar. You can't do radar on your tablet. So if the radar works and this works, cool. You have clear for radar. Then you just cover this up. When I put Velcro on it, the cover on it Velcros my tablet there. So so this is useless.
I can even pull that out for like
Yeah.
God. That opens. Yeah, it's nice.
Now the bee has followed us in here.
Ooh! Look at that. The microwave's got one of those heating elements on it.
Oh.
So you can crisp stuff.
Because it's the same microwave.
I know.
Somehow added it. I don't know.
Yes, I got DVD, and the TVs come with it. Get twisted.
How's the engines look?
That looks like it's not an original, which is good because you do have to replace it. You know that. That's your oil cooler. That's the main place where things get clogged up.
Yeah, that's like the freon. That's the cool.
Yeah, your regular engine coolant, and then the boat itself is cooled by the. Instead of having a radiator, what happens is water comes through from the ocean. There's a pump right down there, and it pumps it through the system, and there's a. Might be easier to show it on this one.
Okay, I'll move.
So this is your heat exchanger right there. Both engines have it. So the water from the ocean gets pumped through this, and then the antifreeze gets pumped through the center of it.
That's a ray core?
And that cools. No, this is your heat exchanger. It will cool the water. The water from the ocean will cool your circulating water. Mm-hmm. So instead of having a radiator fan in the front of your car, you have this. And sometimes these things get clogged. I just did a video on it a couple of weeks ago where we had to clean this. Bilge looks pretty clean. Looks very
up
clean.
Here. So that's your waistline, right? So that's where you change the flow and stuff?
That's your air conditioning line.
What's one?
Going down to the floor.
That one over there is for your air conditioning pump.
Okay.
This here is your air conditioning. Down there, on this side, is where it pulls the ocean water to cool the engine right over there.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Your waist.
So you have an air conditioning pump over here. It's the same concept. Your air conditioner doesn't get cooled by the air outside. It gets cooled by the water running through it.
Okay.
Your refrigerator has
DC then.
Yeah,
okay.
And your refrigerator has a built-in inverter.
Okay.
So that it'll switch over. If it's like my refrigerator, it should be. Which means it'll run on 12 volts or 110. And if it sees 110, it'll take it. If it doesn't, it'll jump to 12. Well, they kept their bilges clean.
Service manual.
Yeah, your bilge looks pretty clean.
What's your step?
Mm-hmm. Oh, and they have the, what you call it? What's that?
Well, that's your
switch?
This is your bilge pump. It's on a float switch.
Okay. So it turns on at a certain time when it gets low.
They got it off power now, but yeah, they would normally send that outside the boat.
The shower box looks new.
This is a shower. This is coming from the floor in here, and it goes in there, and this is coming from your air conditioner unit. They go in there, and this pumps it out. If this fails, I just let it go down there, and then that will pump it out. You know?
It's gray water.
Yeah, it's just it's not water. None of this is.
Yeah, and that probably has to be replaced.
So this is your holding tank here.
Okay. See where they put the gunk on it? It's probably dripping.
Yeah. And it doesn't really matter because if it drips into the bilge, and the bilge goes out anyway. The bilges are clean. Everything looks like they're maintaining it. The oil's been changed. Everything seems to look good on land. For what we can tell here on the hard. Yeah, well, the oil coolers, you tend to change. Well, you can clean them out, or we only changed one on ours ever, but yeah, they don't last forever. There's something that you maybe replace them every 5 years. You clean it every
That's
couple
what I was
of years.
talking about, the pictures of the things that look like silver.
Yeah, see what happens is the water comes out of the bottom, out of the floor of the river, goes to a pump. The pump pumps it in here, and it comes out the other side. Now, these lines are for your oil, which run through that and get cooled by the water. Okay. Then the water leaves there, goes to the heat exchanger, where it cools off your antifreeze that's circulating through. Then it comes out, and it goes through here, which is your exhaust, because, your exhaust would get super hot like a car, but what happens is the water is running through, this is called a riser, and it cools off the exhaust as it goes out, so that's why you have water running out your exhaust when the boat's on. Anything goes wrong and it doesn't flow right, your engine can overheat or your exhaust could get too hot. And so that's why you have to routinely check these things. I turn the engine on and put my hand on here, and I should be able to hold this thing, even though it's the exhaust, because it's cooling it. When we were doing the boat, the video I did the other day, I felt this one, it felt cool. This one felt hot, and I knew, there's a problem somewhere. There's some kind of blockage, And oil coolers, first place to look, then the heat exchanger. The impeller, there's a little impeller that spins that brings the water out of the river. They have to get changed at least every couple of years. They will wear out, and then when they do, you'll start to overheat.
Where do you change them, from underneath or in here?
Well, in here, like it's a pain to get to. Over on this engine, it's not, because this floor comes up. You can sit down there and work on it. Over here, you got to squeeze to the other side, and you notice where she's sitting, how the compartment is smaller because of this floor there. Mm-hmm. So you kind of have to lay sideways and reach it. Okay. And it's kind of claustrophobic, so it's a pain in the neck. So that's one of the things that you might want to hire somebody to do. The miles are low. almost too low, you know? Like you want a boat that's been used a little bit, otherwise it'll just sit there, you know, rotting, you know?
Yeah.
But 700 miles in 26 years? Is that how old this boat is?
How long saying?
Yeah, 26 years.
Well, yeah, 26
95?
years. 94.
94.
Right?
Yeah. So it's what, 250 hours a year roughly, something like that? Yeah. Wait, no. Wait, did I do that wrong? 25 hours a year?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, 25 hours a year.
That's not far at all.
Dude, I like
Ooh.
this door.
Yeah. Door's nice.
This is really cool.
Coffee in their underwear or something. I know people over here at the marina drinking coffee at the bars, you know, and you're like, oh, you're fine.
Oh yeah, good. It's got a cover.
Yeah.
So overall opinion?
Yeah, I think it's good. You know,
Yeah,
I
really
mean, yeah. Obviously, we don't know anything about the engines.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
question mark.
But it looks like it was cared for. It's dirty now, but it's been sitting here all winter. But it needs a little bit of upgrades, carpet works and drape.
Nothing. Doesn't look like anything major.
It's a weekend project kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like
It's your new gym.
Yes, sir.
what, 55, you know,
Yeah.
let's say you think maybe you think it's worth 50 or something, so maybe you're offering 46, and let's say you end up at 50.
Yeah.
They accept the offer. It's contingent upon a survey. So then you have the surveyor come out, you do a dry survey like this, and then you do a sea trial. Surveyor will put together a report. The report might say, hey, we think it's worth this, first of all, and then they'll say these 8 things need to be corrected. Then you go back to the owner and you say, well,
That's after the sea test or before?
after all this, you'll get a report back, and it might say, oh, these number of things need to be fixed, and then typically you'll go to the seller and go, well, look, I can fix them or you can fix them. If you fix them all, well, then my offer still stands at $50,000. However, if you want, I will fix them, and then you're going to knock $5,000 off the price.
Okay.
I'm just making numbers up,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that's typically the way it works. It's usually, if he takes care of everything the surveyor says, and you have to honor your price.
Yes.
If he doesn't, you might be like, some of the things you might be like, I can take care of that. It's like, yeah, I just knock a few thousand off and you settle. But
Yeah,
it's always your option. You have the option to get out if the survey says anything wrong.
Okay.
Surveys always say something.
Yeah.
So-
And I like how it's out of the water, so you know they're not using it, so it's not like they're not itching to sell it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then what you call it? So when I put an offer in, they require a down payment, right?
Yeah, they're going to want 10% down.
And
probably.
what happens if I back out of the deal? Do they keep that?
No,
or-
you get it. Unless
Okay.
you back out for no cause. Like the survey comes out perfect and all that. Your survey,
Yeah.
your contract's going to say you have the right of inspection. A survey, it could be you, it could be whatever, and you have the right to reject it, but you're only going to have X amount of days to do it.
Okay.
It might be like, okay, well, the deposit's in, you've got 20 days to sign off on this, you inspect everything you want to do, and once that day passes, if you didn't say, nope, I'm out, they're keeping your deposit because
Okay.
you've extended past that.
How much is normal deposit? 10%?
Yeah,
Like that?
probably, they'll probably want like 5,000 down.
Yeah.
And then the surveyors might cost you 800, to get a surveyor out, but they'll go through every
See,
little
everything
thing.
you're quoting me is far less than what I picture
Yeah.
a survey being 1,000, 1,500.
And I think right now, even if you pay 55, it's still better. I mean, it's 10,000 more than I sold. I sold my boat real cheap to get rid of it. This is
rather than keep it for a year.
condition-wise, it's not quite as good condition, but it's got other features that I don't. It has better bimini and
Yeah.
that. It has the cockpit in the back. You know what I mean? So there's certain ways it's better. And then once you get in there and give it some TLC, it'll be even better. But so I think it's worth every bit of probably what he's asking. But I
Okay.
mean, obviously, I think you can get it for at least 50. Everyone's
Yeah.
expecting like 10% off, right?
Yeah.
So I mean.
And then the propellers look in good shape too. They're
Yeah.
expensive. I didn't realize how expensive they were.
Yeah, I didn't go over them real close, but I didn't see anything obvious on them.
And you would recommend getting a spare?
No, not
Okay.
necessarily. I mean, they're expensive. I mean,
Yeah, like 15 bucks.
yeah, and the thing is, you got 2 engines. So I mean, unless you really screw up, like I even came home on 1 engine when I totaled my prop in New River Inlet or Little River Inlet, went down in Carolinas, and I just came in on 1 engine.
Okay.
It's a nice thing about having 2.
Yeah.
know?
And
So-
how much do you think the zincs would cost to replace? So factor that into
Not much.
a couple $100.
Not even.
Okay.
I mean, the cost of the zincs maybe 100 for all of them. It's not a lot.
And then I would change it before it goes?
Well, you
once it's in the water.
The only
it's
one is the one
honestly, they're all
around
good
the
except for
shaft.
that one.
Okay.
You know, you got another. You don't even have to. You know? Like if you, the chamois will pull it out and power wash it for you and put it on the hard, and then it's like $400.
I'm just thinking about repainting and all that stuff once it's in like a year or two.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Like you're perfectly fine. You just got to tank.
Yeah.
Don't even worry about it this year. I mean, but next year you might want to pull it off.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to do anything for this bottle.
Okay.
I mean, you really don't even have to do anything for that sink.
That's my biggest worry is the big stuff, because this has all the stuff that's good, that the fundamentals of the bare bones.
As long as those engines run right and
Okay.
that generator runs right, yeah, this is a big deal.
Yeah, because that generator's expensive.
Yeah, it's like But what put it like my boat I bought 4 years ago, I paid $60 for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And there was nothing really wrong with it at all.
She appraised for 67, I
She
thought.
appraised for 67.
Even the
I paid
generator and
60.
stuff?
The generator ran when I got it. However, we didn't use it for like 2-3 years, and I didn't know that was a mistake. You got to run these things.
Yeah,
I should have, and it's probably half its problem is I just never ran it.
Okay.
So. that
And
could
is
be
this
important.
like your boat where, you know, your video, you could divert the gas into one to the other? No.
No, you could probably do. I didn't
Probably
look
put
at
one
it.
in.
My Carver didn't. I was always astounded by that. You had a choice of its regular tank or the auxiliary tank, one
But
or the
not-
other.
yeah.
But you couldn't cross over to the other engine's tank.
Okay.
I can do that on my boat, but I don't know why they didn't put it on this boat.
And you could do. You could
That's
probably
if
get
I
an
was
aftermarket
taking a
part
long
to a
trip, I'd
fuel
look
pump
into
and
that.
Yeah,
put it
you
over.
you could do it. You could do a fuel pump,
There's
or
plenty of
or
room
I'm
down
sure
there.
you could take that whole panel out and put one on with more selections. But
Okay.
you know, that's a little bit of a project. But it might be easier if it's only going to need it in an emergency. So maybe just a fuel pump and some lines, and you go out in one tank and take it over to the other side and pump it
Yeah.
over. You know, I mean,
Because this,
you really get
and
stuck.
there's 2 fuel, so you would fill up 1 tank at a time?
yeah.
Okay. And is yours the same way, or you
Yeah.
just fill 1?
You
Okay.
fill one, and then you if you're at the fuel dock here, and then you pull it through the aft deck to the other side of the boat, and then you
Okay.
put it in that one. Yeah.
And then these little, are those like on the side that look like motion sensors? Are they lights, or are
Yes,
they?
they're your
they're
running
your
lights.
navigation lights.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
like there's a red one and a green one, and that way people when you're
Know
at
which
night
side.
they know which way you're going because they
If
can
you're
tell
at
which
night
color
or in the fog.
the lights on. Yeah, and you're not allowed to use other lights when you're running. You have to only use
Yeah.
these. 'cause
You
don't
can't
wanna
use your
confuse
spotlight.
people.
Yeah, only if you're
Unless someone fell in.
Yeah.
Or if you want to
you're
light
looking
up a
for something.
marina.
even like looking at logs or something like that in
Yeah,
the water. Or something.
yeah, but you're not supposed to be running with it. It has to be like an emergency
Okay.
situation. Yeah, 'cause
And those
otherwise,
aren't those aren't like motorized. They just point one.
no, that
turn on and
you're,
off.
no, you have a control up on the
Okay.
that'll turn that.
So real quick, from today,
Yeah.
putting an offer in, how long do you think it takes before Gary and Kristan are...
Well, if they put an offer in and it's gonna be a time frame offer. You know, you got 48 hours to accept it or not. Assume it's accepted. A little negotiating back and forth. You got to sign papers in 5 days. You hire a surveyor who comes out maybe a week later.
Okay.
You know, so maybe you're 2 weeks from doing a survey.
I'm coming down to Newark this
Then,
week. We put an
settlement.
offer, and I could probably sign paperwork like this week.
Yeah. I mean, they'll send it to you through DocuSign, so you can do it.
Oh,
you,
yeah.
You want to read it over
So
too.
yeah, I mean, you could theoretically be on the water in 3 weeks if everything went right.
So, like, to get his boat registered with the Coast Guard, because we know that is more friendly on the water, what's that entail?
I don't really know the procedure. Our boat, when we bought it, was already a registered boat, so I kept it documented, and I just went and renewed it into my name and transferred it. I don't know what it takes to take a boat that's not documented and make it a documented boat. It might be nothing. It might,
Well, it'd be
but
good to know. If
I just
anybody
don't know
knows
the answer
that,
to
tell
It
us.
might just be an extra $50, or it could be no, you have to jump through a bunch of hoops. I don't know. I don't think so. See what happens, and especially if you take out a mortgage on the boat as collateral, a lot of banks will require you to have a documented boat
Okay.
and registered with the Coast
Oh, so you
Guard.
can have a secured loan on the boat then?
Yeah, you can do
Okay.
that. And then what will happen is a lot of banks will prefer, because it's just safer if it's documented through the Coast Guard. It's nationally recognized that this is the boat, it belongs to you.
Yeah, so if you go skip out on
Yeah,
it.
so, but as opposed to, you registered in Maryland and now you're in Puerto Rico, and, you know, it doesn't, when you're Coast Guard, it doesn't matter. You're registered everywhere. The more
Okay.
you are.
I don't think it's worth it.
And that's the
Yeah,
soft
the price is right on this boat. I guess I got a price to sell or whatever, because, I mean, even if you paid $55, I would still consider it a good deal. Like, I
Yeah.
paid $60 for mine, and like I said, yours has pros and mine has pros, but they're about the same, you know?
Yeah, kind of like
So if you get this thing for 50, that'd be good. And then, like I said, chances are they're going to come back and they're going to find a couple of things, and then When I bought the Carver, the guy he said, I'll just take care of it himself. I don't even know what it was. It was a couple $1,000 worth of stuff. He did it. When I bought the Hatteras, she didn't want anything to do with it because she lived in Arizona, and I'm like, okay. Then they took $8,000. Was it, I think, off the price? And
she was
and I did the
happy
work.
because someone backed out of a deal, so she got to keep $20,000 on that.
Oh yeah.
Like you can't kill them on it, you know. But if they, you know, you'll probably, if they settle on 50, you'd probably end up paying 47, you know, or getting.
Or whatever it takes off pays for the survey.
And then all the stuff you'll
The
find.
survey's not bad because, you know, they'll detail every little thing that you're not sure what it is. Well, it's going to be in the list now, you know.
And it probably helps with insurance and all that stuff.
Yeah, well, often they require it.
Yeah, but you're saying Progressive or whatever Geico.
Yeah, the people who just bought my boat, they said if they insured it for less than like 40 or 45, they did not require a survey. And above that, they would require a survey. And the survey, like if whatever comes on bad on the survey, if it's not everything, but anything that's safety-wise, they'll make you do.